Substack. There's YouTube and Substack. Hello, guys. Let me get Instagram rolling and then double check on Substack. All right, Instagram is rolling. Rolling. There we go. Okay, Substack. Good. Substack is looking good. That's good. All right, we're good today. All right, you guys go over here. All right, hello, Substate Tanya. All right, good. I am going to start TikTok, which is ready as well, and we are pretty good today. Go live. All right. Yeah, we're good today. Not bad. Not bad. Many Substackers there. Good. I'm yawning today. Sorry. Trying to cut back on my third coffee again. There we go. Terry, NJ, Wilkster, Marge, hard to say your names. Anyway, hello, guys. No audio. Let's fix that. All right, let's try audio again on TikTok. All right, how's that this time? How is it this time on TikTok? I unplugged and replugged, which hopefully fixed it. All right. It does that. TikTok, for whatever reason, because I plug the audio in first and then go to TikTok, for some reason, it doesn't like to recognize the audio a lot of times. I've got to kind of unplug and replug, and it's very weird. Not clear why. Hey, Danielle. Oh, my God, I'm yawning today. Sorry, guys. Oh, my God. Anyway, good evening, folks. Happy Monday. Oh, I didn't have that busy of a day. I'm tired anyway, unfortunately. I know I'm yawning. I shouldn't be yawning, but I'm tired. I didn't want the third coffee, though. No, because if I have a third coffee, it wakes me up, but I get heartburn, too, sometimes. So I'm trying to, juggle the let's not have heartburn and let's be awake for the show, but let's not have heartburn. So I skipped my third coffee, which is making me sleepier with you guys, but much less chance of me waking in the middle of the night in pain. Okay, I'm going to yawn here. Waking in the middle of the night in pain, which we don't want to do. So there. Oh, itchy nose, though. You know how that goes. Anyway, good evening, folks. So how are folks doing today? 5 cups are good. You know, the thing is, the medical thing with coffee, it's kind of all over the place. You know, it's good. It's like alcohol. It's good for you. It's bad for you. So, I mean, I like my coffee. I do my 2 cups a day. Makes me happy. It's good. But yeah, this weekend I went to the Smithsonian. I went to the Smithsonian on Saturday because Trump is complaining about, he's putting up a warning label on our national museums. There too, woke. So I went to one of them just to see how woke it is, and it's not that woke. Now, there may be a couple things I missed. I mean, there was some weird thing about Mickey Mouse they were whining about, like Mickey Mouse. I have to Google this, actually. They were claiming that there's I didn't see the sign, but I didn't look. I forgot. I didn't see this until after I got home. But let me see here. Trying to claim that Mickey Mouse comes from the whole minstrel thing. And I was like, really? I'd have to find something. I don't know. I think this is an argument people make. I'm not going to be convinced until I see somebody authoritative and objective make this argument. Okay, I'm not going to be signing up for Vox. In any case, yeah, so supposedly they were claiming Mickey Mouse is blackface. Again, you better have somebody super duper authoritative and not just an activist who claims that, if you're going to claim it here. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people who are not authoritative claim it. That was what I figured. Yeah. Again, activist essays, that's fine. Hold on. Interesting. All right, let's see what Snopes says. Snopes says, in February 2019, an image showing Jigaboo, a racist caricature that supposedly served as inspiration for Disney's, popped up online. Let me see here. The caricature was not the inspiration for Mickey Mouse, according to Snopes, nor did it depict an earlier cartoon character known as Jigaboo. The image is a contemporary work of art. The fact the character in Beware resembles Mickey Mouse, however, is not a coincidence. Charles also created several other artworks which overlaid racial stereotypes onto modern characters and symbols such as Pillsbury Doughboy, Superman, and Elvis Presley. Ah, okay, I see. Okay, all right. That's an artist, though. Wait, let me see here. Charles's paintings. Wait, this photo does not begin with Charles' painting does invoke the early history of the latter character. Many historians of the period believe that Mickey Mouse, like other early 20th century animated characters, was heavily influenced by blackface performers and minstrel shows of the time. Huh. Interesting. Many historians of the period. Okay. That's getting us closer. But well, maybe. Here's the problem, and here's one of the problems with Snopes. Snopes is quoting like two people, but I don't know who they are. You know what I mean? Many experts, that's not bad, but you could easily have, on a controversial cultural issue, you can have many experts on each side easily, right? That doesn't tell me much. And then they quote two people in particular who I have no idea who they are. Like some artist weighing in. It's like, okay. A collection of essays. Here's how Thomas Inga described Disney's character. Who's Thomas Inga? And then Nicholas Salmond argued in his book, who's Nicholas Salmond? You know what I mean? Like, any case. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. Maybe, but like, that's not proof. Even, I'm a little surprised for Snopes. For Snopes, I'm not thrilled with that. Because again, you need to get somebody who's a well-recognized like historian that nobody doubts. You know what I mean? You know, I'm trying to remember some of the guys, some of the famous, men and women that like everybody goes, oh yeah, we know they're nice middle-of-the-road historians. Quoting two random people. Anyway, I don't think you put it in the museum unless you're ready. The one thing the museum did do, which I was a little pissed off, it used Latinx in its display. And I was like, okay, Latinx is a term the activists made up that Latinos don't use to call Latinos, because Latinos is sexist because it's an O, and there are some women who are Latinas. So it's unfair to call them Latinos. It's Spanish. 3% of Latinos use the term Latinx. 3%. Liberal activists jumped on it. Biden's administration, and I'm, love Biden, but Biden's administration jumped on it, and I saw Fauci use it. They all started using it. Latinos don't use the phrase. It's not a phrase for the Latino community. Literally, 3% of Latinos in recent polls said they preferred Latinx. And the Biden people started using it, and the museum started using it. That's not cool. Like I said, I'm happy to be Mr. Liberal boy on civil rights issues and everything else. The far left stuff drives me a little crazy. But speaking of which, I wasn't going to talk about it, but what the hell? You guys need to Google the interview that that DSA did on Fox News this weekend. Democratic Socialists of America is the lead organization of Democratic Socialists in America. They're complete nut jobs. I've warned you guys about that. Anybody who watches my show know I've warned about this before. You want to be a socialist or whatever, I don't care. I'm fine with that. DSA is a bunch of nut jobs, that organization. It's crackpots. They're not you. They're not like normal people who go, yeah, I think I'm more of a socialist or whatever, or a democratic socialist. That organization is nut jobs. Well, the nut job co-chair went on Fox News this weekend, and they're asking her, like, so your organization says that it wants all prisons abolished. She goes, yes. You want all borders, you want all U.S. borders opened. Yes. It's like, oh God. Every person here illegally gets amnesty. Yes. Now, that one I could see people quibble on. You want to eliminate the United States Senate entirely? Yes, we do. I was like, oh God. Oh God. I mean, I think they got her on ICE. Oh, the ICE was the only one I was like, well, yeah, we all want to get rid of ICE now. That's an easy one. But like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, she wants to get rid of all prisons. We're just going to eliminate prisons. Okay. Good for you. Anyway, But that's what I was warning you guys. I mean, she was a nut job. I mean, and she was terrible at it as well, which is the other problem. She was just terrible. She was like, yes. Oh, man. No, I mean, this is the problem. This is the problem. That's what I mean. Well, this is what I've said before, because German said even the European Social Democrats don't believe that. These guys aren't social democrats. They're democratic socialists. They're the far left in Europe that doesn't really have sway anymore. They're not European socialists. I mean, that's the problem. And I don't think, Rob just said she doesn't represent democratic socialists. That's the problem. She doesn't, but she does, right? There's a lot of, I am not one, but there's a lot of normal people out there who consider themselves democratic social or social democrats. I'd rather use the European term in America. And that's fine. I don't care. But that organization is run by crackpots. And the problem is people who are social democrats in America are in this organization, DSA, because it's the only one that exists of crackpots that run it. And we could have another long conversation about this another day. There's a lot of problems with the movement. The actual movement is not great. Again, some of the individual people, I like AOC. She's more liberal than me, but I like her. But the movement, like Abdul in Michigan, these guys, yeah, whatever. We'll see. I think we're in real trouble on the left right now, because this stuff I worry that we're getting into a MAGA moment on the left is what I worry about. And we'll see. And like I said, a lot of you are normal. This movement, not so normal, unfortunately. The leaders, not so normal. The top people they're putting up for office, not so normal. Guy in Maine, not normal. That nut job in Maine was somebody from the far left. They were the ones who found him. The guy who ended up having all the nasty, I almost said the other word, the nasty tattoos from World War II. I mean, that guy, yeah, anyway. I just wish people who consider themselves social democrats or democratic socialists would just rise up and build your own movement and get rid of these crazy jobs, because I'm telling you, I know the activists that are running the movement. They're sadly kind of what the Republicans are claiming they are. They're fire-breathing extremists, a lot of these guys. You guys aren't. But the activists running the movement, yeah. It's very sad. Anyway, let's get rolling, guys. So today's show is sponsored by, it's not sponsored by anybody. But let's get rolling here. Oh, okay. That was nice of them. Oh, all right. My doctor's office sent a prescription in. It was nice of them. Let's get rolling here, guys. So I'm John Arvosis. We're going to put the latest news. We're going to jump into Iran right away. Lots of crazy stuff there. Thank you, Diana. Lots of crazy stuff there. And then we'll jump into the other news as well. But thank you for that. Let's get rolling. So yeah, keep the gifts coming. TikTok, YouTube, etc. I appreciate the support. So like I said, keep it coming. Anyway, Iran, total clusterfuck. Trump backed off on Iran. He tacoed again. So Trump, this is the problem when you elect somebody incompetent, okay? He has been threatening for days now to blow up Iran. All the details he was going to do, this kind of crap. He totally caved yesterday because his generals told him, we don't have the weapons to do it and it won't make a difference. I had mentioned last week, CIA had already analyzed it and said, further attacks won't change Iran. It won't make any difference. His generals also started weighing in and going, we don't have the weapons to do this. And it's also now gotten the attention. They're afraid of China and Russia. That China and Russia are now looking at us and going, the U.S. doesn't have the weapons it used to have. Maybe, thank you, Gene. Maybe it's worth going into Taiwan or even attacking Europe because America isn't going to be as prepared as they were before. Very scary stuff. Listen to this Wall Street Journal. President Trump has put off a major escalation of his military campaign against Iran. Thank you, son. Very nice gift there. Future encounters. Thank you for that. President Trump has put off a major escalation of his military campaign against Iran amid efforts to revive diplomacy, to open the Strait of Hormuz, and debate over the impact of declining munition stocks, according to U.S. officials. The U.S. military had been poised Friday to launch an intensive series of strikes against Iran. Oh, thank you, Cricket. An intensive series of strikes against Iran, which could have lasted up to 2 weeks. But the operation was, I love this. Listen to this. The operation was delayed so diplomacy could proceed. That's not why the operation was delayed. Thank you, Tammy. The operation was delayed because Trump realized, the general said, we don't have enough weapons. It's not going to make a difference anyway, but we're running out of weapons because of what you've been doing. He's been blowing everybody up all over the world, and now we're getting low on weapons. A little bit more here. The operation was delayed so diplomacy could proceed, and as officials discussed the effect of a major attack could have on the U.S.'s shrinking stocks of Patriot and other air defense interceptors. The president could still order an attack, officials said, noting the situation remains fluid. The White House has been informed of the declining inventories of air defense interceptors by General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Officials said the issue is a concern for Kane, who believes that the low inventories wouldn't preclude a resumption of major combat operations, but would add to the risk, officials said. New York Times reported a little differently. New York Times said General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, has cautioned privately that resuming major combat operations against Iran was doable, actually kind of the same, was doable, but that it would dangerously deplete interceptors available to the military central command. That's a little different. That is different. That's saying that Kane said it's doable, meaning, yeah, we can attack Iran again. We're going to run out of weapons if we do, but we can do it, right? I mean, yeah, of course we can, but it's going to put us in a dangerous situation if we do that. Yeah. Axios. Top U.S. military commander in the Middle East, Admiral Brad Cooper, recommended stopping the bombing campaign around the Strait of Hormuz because it has reached the limit of its effectiveness. So another top general says that, or an admiral in this case, says that our campaign isn't effective, that it doesn't matter. We're blowing up. We're not making any difference. We are at the end of our limit militarily now. Trump screwed up. We lost. Basically, we lost. If you blew up as much as you could and you've now reached the end of the rope and blowing things up doesn't make a difference, you're screwed. Because going into that negotiation, right? Going into the negotiation, the other guy says, well, we know you can't hit us anymore, so what's your leverage? This is very bad. Trump's United Nations ambassador. So Trump's United Nations ambassador, Tim Walz, goes on TV this weekend, I think it was CBS, and tries to argue, well, gets asked by the host, and she goes, are our weapon supplies depleted? And he goes, Joe Biden depleted our weapon supplies by attacking the Houthis when he was president. The Houthis are the terrorist group that runs Yemen. This was not a major war. This wasn't even 0.1% of what Trump has thrown at Iran, right? So claiming Joe Biden's war against the Houthis drained all our supplies. If the United States cannot handle a few battles against the Houthis without draining our supplies, we're in real trouble. That wasn't the problem. The problem was Donald Trump. Oh, thank you, Brown-Eyed. The problem was Donald Trump blowing up everything all over the world the last year and a half and then going after Iran, right? That was the problem. So anyway, he goes, oh, yes, we're in real trouble because of Joe Biden. We inherited a bad situation because of Joe Biden. And she goes, oh, so we do have depleted stocks. No, we don't. We have more than enough weapons to defend America and the world and all our adversaries. Our weapons aren't depleted. And we're kind of going, wait, you just blamed our depleted weapons on Joe Biden. And then this was all within 1 minute. Within the next sentence, our weapons aren't depleted. We have more weapons than anybody. And he goes, and the people putting out the message that our weapons are defeated should be thrown in prison. Well, you can't throw them in prison unless the leak they're making is real information. So you want to now throw them in prison for leaking this classified information about our weapon supplies, but it's not true. Well, then you can't throw them in prison if what they're leaking isn't true, because it's not a leak. They're literally just lying to the media if they're telling lies, right? So, yeah, that was the Trump administration this weekend, right? Their major depletion of weapon supplies, Biden's fault. Our weapons aren't depleted, and we're going to go after and anybody who leaks the classified data on our depleted weapons. Okay. Mitch McConnell. There was more proof of life today from Mitch McConnell. Alexa raised the temperature 1 degree. So McConnell, was the top Republican leader in the U.S. Senate. This was the picture. So McConnell, let's remind people just in case they forget. Mitch McConnell, one of the top Republicans in the United States Senate, has some incident 6 weeks ago at his home. He's unconscious. The 911, emergency phone thing says cardiac arrest, right? Your heart is stopped. He disappears for weeks. 2 different people that are former staffers claim, oh, I talked to him for 20 minutes. We talked about strategy and the war and lots of substantive issues. And everybody else is going, well, if you talked to him for 20 minutes about strategy, about the war and everything else, why hasn't anybody seen him? Why hasn't anybody heard from him? Why hasn't he done any interviews, right? Well, then they put out this photo a couple of weeks ago, proof of life photo, and say, oh, see, he's fine. And the best part was the photo comes out and all the Republicans start defending the other Republicans. See, everyone owes Scott Jennings an apology. Scott Jennings, former McConnell staffer, who said he had a 20-minute conversation with McConnell and nobody believed him. You owe him an apology. And it's like, all I see here is an old guy sitting up, smiling dumbly at the camera. I do not see someone necessarily whose brain is working. I don't know, right? He's smiling at the camera. Does this mean he's able to have a 20-minute phone call with Scott Jennings about war strategy? This doesn't prove that. Well, Andy Beshear jumps in, who's the Democratic governor of Kentucky, the governor of the state. He's been pissed that that they're not telling us about McConnell. Mind you, it's been 6 weeks now, that they're not telling us about McConnell's condition. And Beshear goes, well, if McConnell had 2 20-minute conversations with these 2 guys, and he had 2 20-minute conversations about policy and war and all sorts of stuff, deep, serious stuff, then at the very least, he can do a 5-minute interview with local Kentucky news TV station. Why not? He's right? If McConnell can do 20 minutes of policy on a phone call, he can do 5 minutes of just a hello, how are you? Oh, I'm feeling better. Thank you so much. We haven't heard from McConnell. Here's a thought too. So today they put out this photo. Now, let's be clear. This was the earlier photo. 2 weeks later, this is the new photo. That's it. And they put out a statement. Oh, he's fine. He's getting better. He's undergoing physical therapy. It's hard. It's taking a long time. And we're like, okay. It's been 6 weeks. First of all, once again, I see an old guy sitting up in bed, told to smile, and that's all we got going on here. He was told to smile. If he were doing better, why didn't they release a video? Right? Think about this. He's undergoing physical therapy. Well, okay. If you're undergoing physical therapy, let's say your arms and legs are weak, or you hit your arm when you fell, or you hit your hip when you fell, that's stopping you from making this a video? Why wasn't this a video today? Right? I mean, again, think about it. If it's no big deal, and they claimed he had pneumonia too. Okay. You had pneumonia. You're getting better and having physical therapy. Why can't you do a video? Right? Because something's wrong. You can't do the video because you can't do the video. That's the problem, right? He's not capable of doing a video. Why is that? I don't think it's fake. I mean, I realize it could be fake, but I believe the photo's real. I don't really go for conspiracy stuff unless there's proof, right? I think the photo's real, but I know for a fact that this is a photo and not a video, and it's been 6 weeks and there's been so many questions raised. If he were doing okay, you'd release a video. You'd release the video. You'd go, guys, I'm fine. I hit my hip. I'm having a hard time walking. They're making me practice walking, and that's why I'm not going into work. Or I had pneumonia, and my lungs are still healing. You do that video. That would be fine. That'd be okay. Or you're not doing okay. And the most you can do is sit up. And when they say smile, you can smile. What if that's all he's able to do? I mean, as others are saying, you could have a stroke. You could have lots of other things happen. You could have brain damage from the fall. You can have brain damage from the lack of oxygen from cardiac arrest. You can have lots of things that can happen that could mean you're still able to open your eyes and smile on command. But this is, I will say this. Matt Iglesias had said the other day, not wrong, and said, not sure why everyone's getting so upset about Mitch McConnell. He said, Republicans have a very slim majority in the. Did he die? Sam Neill die from pneumonia? That's how he died? Ew. He was young to die from pneumonia. I didn't know anybody died from pneumonia anymore at like a young age. Wow. Or youngish age. I didn't realize that. What was I going to say with this? I saw you mentioning that. I was like, oh, wow. What were we saying about this? About McConnell? I can't remember. I don't know. Matt Iglesias. Thank you, Ben. So, yeah, Iglesias said, look, the Republicans have such a slim majority in the Senate. If they want to have a red state represented by a guy who can't vote, why do I care? You know what I mean? Their majority just got one fewer. He's like, okay, it's not a bad point. I've had my pneumonia vaccine for sure, of course. But there was Pneumax or Pneumovax or something, and there was a more recent one, I think. Anyway, I got whatever the more recent one is, I think. But I thought that was very interesting, right? Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry about that. There you go. I forgot about that. I didn't put the YouTube chat up on the chat up on the screen for YouTube and Substack. So yeah, I hope he gets better just as a human being. But if Republicans don't want to be represented in Congress by one of their senators, okay, works for me. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. All right. Oh, I am yawning at you. Sorry, guys. Trump today on inflation. How much longer will Americans continue to you're going to love this. How much longer will Americans continue to see these high prices? Trump. Well, they're not very high. The stock market's up. Everything's doing really well. The Dow's at 50,000, right? I mean, literally, the stock market's up. Yeah, we're asking about prices. Most Americans don't have a lot of money in the stock market. At least half of Americans, I think, don't have any. Not very good. Trump was at the correspondents' dinner this weekend, Friday night, I think. That was interesting. So Trump, they finally do the correspondents' dinner again. It's the big annual dinner of the White House correspondents. It's all the reporters who cover the White House. Last time they had it a month or two ago, some guy came in with a gun and caused problems, so they had to cancel. And in this case, they held it again at like the Waldorf Astoria or whatever it was. And Trump shows up, and this was actually very interesting. And I don't know why Trump showed up for this. It was stupid. They have a special award I think they do probably a special award every year for like journalists, and I don't know what the category is, but they give awards to journalists because it's a journalist dinner to honoring the correspondents covering the White House. And this year the award went to the Wall Street Journal for their multiple coverage of, and Wolf Blitzer gets up from CNN and he goes, for their coverage of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal involving financier Jeffrey Epstein, convicted of, or what, not even convicted, but arrested for sex trafficking or whatever it is. And his ties, former ties to President Donald Trump. And you see Trump just sitting there on the table, kind of looking, going, okay. And Wolf goes on for 5 minutes about why these reporters are getting these awards, because they reported on Jeffrey Epstein and follow-on reports about his birthday and Donald Trump making a pornographic birthday card for Jeffrey Epstein, and how Trump got upset and then released the personal home address of the reporter involved, and her family had to flee their home because of death threats because of the president publishing this. And you see Trump going, because of death threats. And then the president said he was going to sue the reporters, and then he hit them with a $20 billion lawsuit. And they're going on and on and on. He's like, but the reporters stuck to their story and they step up. And basically, and so they're like giving them an award for standing up for exposing Donald Trump's connection to Epstein, and then for standing up to Trump when he managed to get death threats against the reporter and her family. And Trump is sitting there. That's what blew my mind. Oh, he knew Trump was there. He was standing up in front of Trump. Trump on the dais, on the table at the top of they have the table on the stage, the dinner table on the stage, like for a wedding, on the stage for Trump and the top people. Wolf Blitzer's standing there at the microphone. Trump is next to him. And he's talking about Trump and Epstein. I mean, and yeah, Trump's like, oh man. So that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Trump is an idiot to go to that dinner. I mean, I don't know what they're not just getting an award for covering Jeffrey Epstein. They're getting an award for covering the connection between you and Jeffrey Epstein. Why in God's name would you want to go there and sit there while that's happening? Again, I'm glad they got the award, but if you're Trump, you're an idiot to go and sit there while they're getting the award, because it just makes you look bad. So then Trump gets up to give his speech. I watched half an hour of it this weekend. I couldn't watch anymore. It was over an hour. I literally watched 30 minutes of it. I don't think he read the script at all. It was actually boring. It was 30 minutes of Trump just talking. But usually when he talks, I mean, he's horrible when he just talks. He says horrible racist stuff and everything else. This time was actually just boring. Trump was like, they said that, like, with the dinner in 2011 that I went to, the one that Obama made fun of me, that's the reason I ran for president, but it's not really the reason I ran for president. And I was actually okay with Obama making fun of me. I thought it was funny. People thought I got angry, but I didn't get angry. It was really funny. And I knew it was going to be funny. And I told people afterwards it was funny. And you're going, oh my God, I'm so bored right now. I mean, it was boring. It was literally him off script, but him off script not in even a crazy way. It was him off script in a boring way. He made a sexist joke about Caitlin Collins, a female reporter who got an award from CNN. He made actually the joke about the senator I thought was funny, to be honest, but it didn't go over well, but I thought it was kind of funny. But he gave a bunch of jokes that didn't work. It was just stupid. And it went over an hour of him and like I said, I just couldn't watch the second. I watched half an hour literally, and I finally went, no more. I can't do more than this. This is too much. So that was this weekend. That was insane. What else we got? Andrew Tate. Oh, Andrew Tate's in prison and very upset. So the Tate brothers, right? You all know about them, the social media guys who are about masculinity, and they're all about making men and women work for men and this kind of crap. They're like these super macho guys, and they've got a movement it's a man's movement about showing men who they really are. But again, it's about putting down women too and sexualizing women, right? Well, he's been tweeting from prison because they got arrested. They're going to get extradited to Great Britain. They're very upset about their prison conditions. I have to read this. This is, mind you, this is from a manly man who's trying to teach men to be men and not girls, because men shouldn't be girly. They should wear purple blouses and capri pants and loafers, but they shouldn't be girls. Listen to this. I am in special housing unit. My water faucet is broken. I am not allowed bottles of water in special housing unit. I have nothing clean to drink. My only water comes from the shower, warm and from a brown and filthy faucet. It has given me persistent stomach problems. The water I am drinking is not clean. I am an American. He literally goes, the water I am drinking is not clean, comma, I am an American. Innocent until proven guilty, but I am forced to drink poisoned water. Where are my rights? He writes this at 10 o'clock. I kid you not, 10 o'clock at night, he wrote this. 10 o'clock at night. It's like, oh, no. prison's bad. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I'm in Iowa and my water isn't clean either. Well, Michigan too, right? Yeah, like, oh well. Generally speaking, but he has access to his social media accounts to tweet at 10 o'clock at night. Oh well. Yes, somehow he's allowed to tweet. I guess they let them tweet in prison because why not, right? I don't know. I guess they're allowed. What else we have here? Hang on. Trump has been, this is interesting. Trump has been refusing to give out transit projects. So every year, the president gives out billions of dollars of transit projects. Is it solitary, SHU? He didn't call it solitary, though, which I'm surprised. If it were gone through, I'm surprised he didn't call it that. He would be the first to complain about that, although he may be in solitary to protect himself too. They were alleged to have photos of young girls. I thought in prison that stuff didn't. Dawn says it's not solitary, actually. Yeah. But also in prison, I don't know how he would do in prison, to be honest. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Secure housing units, single man cells. Oh, thank you. Who is that? Thank you, Sadie. That's interesting. I would think he should be very happy that he's getting single man cells. British prison is plenty humane from what I hear, and county jail always sucks no matter where. Oh, that's interesting. Is he in county jail or what? Or is he in federal? It must be federal of some kind, you'd think, but who knows? Oh, I don't particularly care. Anyway, so another thing Trump is doing is so every year the president gives out billions of dollars of grants for transit projects, anywhere from 1 billion to 11 billion usually is the way it works. Some prisons use it for solitary. Okay, Gunther was just sharing this. SHU stands for Special Housing Unit. Well, okay, Gunther's sharing. Well, okay, I mean, it's from AI. Gunther's AI is claiming it is solitary. Typically locked in a single cell for up to 22 to 24 hours a day. Interesting. Okay, who knows? All right, well, whatever. I still don't care, but good. I mean, good to know the answer. I don't care about him is what I mean, but good to know the answer. So yeah, wait till he gets into our prisons. Oh, the British prison system, no phones. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. It's not always solitary. Okay. All right. Enough of that discussion. So anyway, bottom line is, I want to show you this. This is these are the amount of transit funds given every year. Obama, and it goes from like 2 or 1 to 11. Okay, 11's the highest here. So 11, you can see every year. So it goes between 1 and 2 to 11 every year. Trump, 2 all the way up to 11 again. Then Biden, a little lower, up to 11. Trump, both years, 0. He's no longer giving transit funds to the cities, ostensibly because the big cities are Democratic cities, and he doesn't want to give them any money because they didn't vote for him. So we haven't had transit projects in America for 1.5 years because of Donald Trump. I mean, and people are fine. I mean, we're not fine with this, but like, it shouldn't be legal. No. I mean, it's literally violating congressional law. Yes, because Congress passes the law that says you will spend this money on this project. And Trump just goes, no, they didn't vote for me. I really feel like, I'm telling you, the next president shouldn't just double the money. The next president should say, okay, then Republican states won't be getting any money either. Okay. It's been 1.5 years, then it'll be 1.5 years. And it goes for 2 or 4. If it goes for 2 years, it'll be 2 years. If it goes for 4 years, it'll be 4 years. However long you don't give Democratic states money is as long as Republican states won't get money, and see how it works for you. Absolutely crazy. This was an interesting story. So Justice Department prosecutors are prosecuting a guy. An American citizen comes into the country from abroad. I don't recall what he did that pissed him off. He was working on something or, whatever, but he did something that pissed them off, political. And they take his phone at the border, which to an American citizen you can do. They have to let you in if you're an American. I had Googled this a few months ago. They have to let you in if you're American, but they can take your phone for like 5 days. and then they try to break into it and stuff. They take his phone and they ask him for the code. He gives them the code. He has a what do you call it? He has a Android phone and has some program on it or something that has a kill switch, and it allows you to set up a code on your phone. It's an app that automatically erases your phone if you put in the kill code. So you have a special code set up that if you put in that code, it erases your phone. So he gives them the duress pin, the duress number. They enter it and it erases his phone. Well, now they're trying to charge him with a crime for like destroying evidence. And it gets really interesting because I was thinking about this and I was like, initially I'm thinking, well, you kind of did destroy evidence. But then I was thinking, but did you? They don't know there's anything wrong on your phone. Thank you, Cindy, right? They don't know there's anything wrong on your phone. Were you ordered not to? For example, if I'm going through the line and the guy says, I want to talk to you more. I said, okay. And I put in my duress pin. Is that destroying evidence? No. I'm sure I'm allowed to erase my phone in line at customs or immigration. I'm allowed to do that. After they ask you for your phone, are you allowed to erase it? You're allowed to not give them access. I mean, well, here's the thing. It's your property, but it's also your property if the police get a warrant and come to your house, right? And they get a warrant for your files, and you run to the back room and you destroy your files, then you're in trouble. That would be destroying evidence. But because there's no warrant, it gets interesting. That's what I mean. So it's a very interesting, I mean, I'm saying legally, personally, I think it's funny. I'm glad he did it. But legally, I'm curious about it. Now they don't need warrants at the airport per se. They can get the phone. Getting access to it is a harder question and a harder thing. It's very interesting. It's very interesting, I thought. They did not have a warrant because they didn't need it, right? You're at the airport. Well, that's my question is, you're destroying evidence, but they didn't prove it was evidence, right? It's my phone. I'm not allowed to destroy my phone? I mean, you asked. Now, the only thing is they could say they have a right to your phone, which apparently they do. And if they have the phone in their possession and you take it away from them, that probably is like, you can't grab it out of their hands. I don't know. It's like I said, legally, well, that's a good question too. M. Hawkey says technically law enforcement destroyed the evidence. That's an interesting question too. That's an interesting question too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very intrigued because also at the border, police have a lot of our immigration people have a lot of power at the border over us. So they don't necessarily need warrants and things like that. Well, the border official typed in the code, but right? I mean, what's the code number to free the woman who's tied up against the fence? Oh, this is the number, officer, and the number you gave him actually electrifies the fence to kill her. You're going to prison. You know what I mean? You're not going to say, well, the officer is the one who plugged in the code that electrified the fence that killed the woman. It wasn't me. No, you're going to prison. you're going to prison for that one. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So like, you could say the officer plugged it in. What gets interesting is, it's a very interesting question. I don't know. I don't quite know how it works. I don't quite know. They say you shouldn't have the face or the touch because then they make you do it. They can grab your finger and put it on there and stuff. Like you should, if you're going through customs and stuff, you should have your phone set that requires the code. Because then you just say, no, I'm not giving you the code. And then they've got to figure it out on their own. Very interesting. Anyway, but exactly, that's the problem, Solaski. You're at the border, you're not quite in the country, so your rights are limited. It's very interesting. Anyway, the Comey update. So Comey's lawyers went to court today and asked the court to throw out the case against him. They're filing more paperwork tomorrow asking remember, this was the one where he took pictures of the seashells that said 8647 on the beach, and Trump claimed, "Oh my God, it's a terror plot. Comey wants to kill me, and he's actively plotting to," which is what they charged him with. They charged him with because wanting to kill you is not a crime in America, or wanting you killed is not a crime in America. Trying to kill you is a crime in America. They claimed by putting a picture up of the seashells Comey saw on the beach that spelled 8647, that meant Comey was actively engaged in a plot to kill the president. It's like, no, that's not what that means. 47 is the 47th president. 86 means kill, but kill in a metaphoric way. Oh, kill that. 86, like I would say, oh, you know what? If I'm editing somebody's paper, I could say, you know what? Let's 86 that paragraph, or let's 86 that entire argument. It's stupid. No one's going to believe it. It doesn't mean kill the argument. It means kill the argument metaphorically. And Trump claimed it only means assassinate. And it's like, no, it doesn't, honey. It really doesn't. Casinos, are they using casinos too? I did not know that. And it's used in food cooking and restaurants. It's like a lot of different things. And Get Smart, Agent 86. Anyway, so let's a little Ukraine news. This was wild. I kind of missed this story yesterday. The Caspian Sea has become the latest region to be sucked into the growing conflict between Iran and its adversaries, according to CNN. Ukraine in the weekend said its drones had struck 2 Russian vessels carrying military cargoes in the Caspian, the world's largest inland body of water. It asserted that both had left Iran for a Russian port. In a post on Sunday, Zelensky said the target included ships that were involved in transporting military cargo from Iran, as well as a warship. I also read that the Ukrainians might have targeted an Iranian warship, let me pull this up again. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. Let me see. I don't think I have the article up anymore. Let me see if I do. I don't think I do. Because I thought it said Iranian. Oops, not my calendar. Oops, geez, why do I keep opening the same thing? Because I'm losing my mind here. Here we go. Here it is, CNBC. The CNBC says, Iran summoned a Ukrainian diplomat in Tehran on Sunday to protest an attack on an Iranian commercial vessel in the Caspian Sea. Iran said the attack left 1 sailor dead and several injured. So the Iranians are saying that the Ukrainians attacked an Iranian commercial ship that was delivering supplies to the Russians. Woo! Now, this gets interesting because if you're Donald Trump, Trump doesn't like the Russians getting attacked. Trump would love an Iranian ship getting attacked by Zelensky, right? I kind of wondered when I heard this story whether Laura Loomer didn't pull Zelensky aside and go, you know what you might want to do? Blow up a few of those Iranian ships coming through the Caspian Sea, and you might make Donald Trump a very happy man, right? I mean, think about it. Who's the only ally who joined the U.S. other than Israel in attacking Iran? Ukraine, right? Who's the only one that's attacked Iranian ships? Ukraine. Again, other than Israel. It's very interesting. And Zelensky supposedly coming to Washington this week to meet with Trump. At least that was the plan. I mean, it wasn't guaranteed. But, oh, Martin, you're going to Kyiv. Good for you. That was at least they were working on it, on possibly coming to DC this week to meet with Ukraine. Anyway, I thought that was a wild story. A reporter asked Trump this weekend, you reposted Laura Loomer interviewing Zelensky. What do you make of growing MAGA support for the war in Ukraine? Trump, they support what I support. But that's interesting. For Trump to say, why do so many MAGA people increasingly support the Ukrainians? Trump said they support what I support, meaning they're supporting Ukraine because I support Ukraine. Trump doesn't support Ukraine. That's very interesting for him to say that. It's also interesting for him to kind of acknowledge that he knows that that his people are supporting Ukraine more. I just thought that was very interesting. The other Oh, Trump says he will ask Putin about Russia helping Iran target U.S. bases in the Middle East. Trump was questioned about the report shortly after Zelensky said on July 25th that Moscow has been providing Tehran satellite imagery of U.S. and Gulf military installations throughout the U.S. against Iran. So basically, Zelensky said the Russians were giving Iran satellite imagery to help them attack American troops, and Trump said, well, I'll ask about it. But that's good because you know what? It's one more thing that puts it on Trump's radar, which is not a bad thing. So anyway, all right, that's it for the show. I mean, we're hanging. That's it for the news that I planned for today. Oh, mamma mia. Anyway. What else, guys? What else? Oh, boy. I went back to my Trader Joe's today, got new flowers. So I may make that at least until the weather goes bad. I may do that once a week. I like having my flowers. It's nice. So makes me happy. So the sunflowers are finally, there's only about 4 left. They're hanging in there after a week, but the other ones are very nice. So we'll see how long they last. So the sunflowers were kind of pathetic. I don't know why Trader Joe's is weird. Last week they had 6 big sunflowers for $5. Today they had 4 small sunflowers for $5. And I was like, why? I don't understand. Why? But hard to say. So anyway. What else, guys? I guess that's all they had, but they had like 10 bunches. All 10 bunches were 4 small flowers. Last time was 6 large flowers. Why would there be 6 large flowers and 4 small ones? Actually, I know a guy who works there who's a little higher up. I should have asked him. Next time, if it's small again, I'm going to ask him. So, anyway, that's anyway merch. I know I should make some anyway merch. I don't know that I know a place that's any good. The cheesecake is bad. I'm sorry, but their cheesecake sucked. Somebody was asking about their cheesecake. Actually, I told the guy I knew, I said, you know what? Sorry to tell you, the cheesecake, I said, I make cheesecake. The cheesecake is only so-so. A good cheesecake, much better than that. But what do you, well, it's not shrinkflation in 1 week. I bought the flowers a week ago. They literally, I think somebody else did them this week, and it was literally small and fewer. I was like, what's that about? Anyway, oh, good. You're in DC for the weekend. That's nice. The cheesecake is a little too sweet and no real flavor. It's rich. Reviews online didn't like the consistency. I thought the consistency was appropriate, but the flavor, it had no flavor. It's okay. I mean, I put fruit on it and it's satisfying enough in its own way, but it's really not good. I make a fabulous New York cheesecake. It's my mom's recipe. So it's an amazing, I showed you guys last time. It's a very simple recipe. It's a little long though. Well, I say simple, but it's very good. I do put lemon zest in mine now. I didn't originally, but I like a little lemon. So I took mom's recipe, added some lemon zest and some lemon. I added 2 tablespoons of lemon in addition to the zest. And what's interesting is it was too sweet to start with, although I liked it. It was too sweet. And then after it sat in the fridge for 48 hours, it was perfect. The flavor mellowed. It was weird. It was very weird. And now I like lemon, so too sweet means it was really sweet. But that lemon taste after 48 hours had diminished significantly. And I mean, because, food can change flavors. I didn't know something like that could happen, that lemon could get less lemony. I don't know. It was very weird stuff. So anyway, I did share the recipe last week. You missed it. Oh, sorry. Because it was a couple pages worth and I was holding up, maybe another day I'll do it, but I was holding it up to the screen. There's a screen and everything. So anyway, it's a good cheesecake recipe though. I'll be making it again. I mean, I try not to have cheesecake just laying around, but it is awfully good. Oh, thank you. What is that? Was that Bowie? Thank you, Bowie. Oh, my allergies are kicking in again. Oh, guys. Sorry, guys. Oh, I don't know. I want cheesecake. Yeah. I'm sure the recipe is in Discord. I'll bet you it's there. Somebody look under our food section. I don't know if you can search well. Search for cheesecake. I guarantee you I've put the recipe there before. I know I have. I can try to post it again. I don't know. It's not always easy to jump around Discord. I can try, but I'm going to look. I think it's going to be there. I really do. I can look right here, but I think it's going to be Mom's Cheesecake updated. Here we go. And actually, the interesting thing with Mom's is I don't use a water bath, which I'm sure is probably better. All right, Discord, I'm going to jump over there a second. Let's see if it screws up my broadcast on Discord, but let me see. I'm going to go to recipes, but I'll bet you it's either way. I'll try to post it. Sometimes it doesn't let me post stuff. Where is my food? Food and recipes. Here we go. All right, let's try this. Oh God, it's doing that again. I hate this. It copies the stuff and won't let me actually paste it. It's pasting it as a message.txt file, and I don't know why. It did this to me before, and I don't know why. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is going to... All right, I'm trying this one more time to copy and paste, but it's going to screw it up. No, it's screwing. Oh, now it's an image.png. I can try that, but I'll bet you the image is one page. Sorry, guys. I think this is going to screw it up. Yeah, that's just part of the page. Ah, shit. Yeah, this is what happened last time. I tried to do this, and I don't know why, but it won't let me copy and paste stuff, and I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. Actually, last idea here is let me print this as a PDF. Let's try that. File, print. Let's try that. Oops. Save as PDF. All right, cheesecake. Let's try this. Downloads. All right, now I'm going to try to do an upload of a file and see if this works. Sorry, guys, trying to give people my cheesecake recipe here. All right, I posted it. Somebody want to click and see if you're able to download it now in Discord under the food and recipes? Oops, go back to channel. Okay, back in the channel. Somebody go to Discord and see under food and recipes if you're able to see the recipe, the PDF easily and just download it. Because if so, then we're fine. Then we're fine. Fine. How to get to the Discord? Ugh, I can't even tell you that. That one's too hard. I'm on a Mac, actually. But for some reason, I copy from Notes or Word and try to paste into Discord, and it pastes it as like I said, a document, a TXT file, which was weird, right? Discord versus Substack. I'm trying to remember now which one gives me more. I don't remember which one gives me more. More of the money, I mean. I don't... They're both I shouldn't say that. I think they're both pretty close, but I don't recall now. They're not as bad as everybody else. Okay, JTA was... Okay, Amanda could get it too. Yep, okay. So it's there. The PDF is there now, so you can grab it. I kind of prefer to post it as text, but it won't let me, so I'll live. But it's a very good cheesecake recipe. The one thing is I would say be careful with the lemon because I like lemon, so you don't want to add the amount of lemon I added. You do not want to do that. Consider don't add lemon at all. I said it was optional because Mom's recipe didn't have lemon, but I liked having the lemon in there. It was very nice. Anyway, but it's a great recipe. She doesn't use a water bath, which honestly makes it easy. You know, some people find the water bath difficult. Not that a water bath's difficult. It might taste much better. You know, I may try it once with the water bath because it might taste much differently. Because water baths do make them more. There was an interesting thing I saw about cheesecake. and it was showing a test they did that a cheesecake cooked in the oven regularly, the center temperature might have been 190. Listen to me, I'm talking in Celsius. I'm Celsius boy now. The center temperature might have been 390. The outside temperature might have been 350 Fahrenheit, right? Like literally that much difference between the middle and the end. When they cooked it in water, the entire thing was 350, like the middle, the outside, whatever. So that's why they do the water bath, is it literally cooks it evenly, so you don't have one part that's overcooked, one part that's undercooked in the middle, etc. Because to cook the middle, you've got to overcook the sides. Having said that, it was great. It was great. TikTok, I don't even know how to post it on TikTok. That's a good question. I have no idea, James. If you can find, my Discord is in my TikTok bio, has the link that shows things, including Discord. So you can go check it out there if you use Discord. But I don't think there's any way to post a recipe. I don't know how I would post a recipe in TikTok. Like even in my links. Like I don't know where I would link it to. Put it on my Facebook, maybe? You know what I mean? That's a possibility, maybe. Yeah. In the comments. Well, not a TikTok comments is going to be TikTok would probably delete them in my comments. Oh, that's true. We've got that chat group on TikTok. That's true, actually. No, there's some kind of chat function on TikTok, of a bulletin board or something. I could look at that. I like Facebook. I've been using Facebook more. I will say this, Facebook, ooh, boy, shockingly good compared to the app that shall not be named. Like Facebook is at least twice as much. I mean, like shockingly good. I only got monetized on there 2 months ago and went, holy cow. Because TikTok, forget it. TikTok, this would have been another month of not making enough money. TikTok, I either would do okay or not making enough money, so that literally I'm paying out of my savings. And Facebook has been fabulous. Not, let's see, but it's been, like I said, TikTok this month, pretty crappy. Facebook saved the day, thank God. So, but yeah, so TikTok has some kind of a bulletin board feature or something that I can do posts. And I've never used it because I wasn't sure what to do with it, but I guess I could post recipes. I don't want to post too many recipes, but I don't mind posting occasional recipes, YouTube, yeah, but same problem. I don't know how to post it on YouTube. I think YouTube may have a bulletin board as well. Oh, is it just for subscribers, Ash? I don't know. Is it? Oh, it might be. It might be just for subscribers. I don't know. That's a good question. Listen to us. We're all like, we devolved into a conversation about cheesecake. It's like cheesecake, Homer, for burgers, hamburger. Oh no, Colin, that sucks. I have heard of people having that happen. Record me making the cheesecake. Yeah. I don't know. E-cookbook. I know we could do a cookbook at some point. We'll see. I don't know. I've got mom's recipes and recipes I like. I've got like 1,000 recipes in my notes that I keep. Mom's, but also just recipes I found online that I like and stuff. So you never know. You never know. Never know. Yeah, cooking. The problem is cooking and recording. That's a whole art. Is people who have the camera set up, they have the lights in the kitchen, everything else. Like you'd really need, you'd need I am not Shea Spence. My kitchen would not look as pretty as his, I think, in Key West, So yeah, I don't know about that. Also, I think editing a cooking recipe would be a pain, I would think. Well, you need a tripod, but it's more than that. It's the angle, it's the lighting, it's and then editing it later. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if my heart is in it on the cooking thing. I have not seen The Odyssey. I'm going to go see it when I go to Phoenix in 2 weeks. So that will be fun. Just put a post, not streaming. Others put the recipe in the comments. I'm not sure. I'd have to look and see what that means for TikTok. I don't know. point the camera at the recipe. Yeah, but I've got to be careful. I don't want to screw up my TikTok feed. You know what I mean? TikTok's already weird enough with me. I don't want a video for a minute of a recipe. They'd probably come down on me and say it's a violation or something, you know? That would be my fear. So, you know, but yes, I'm going to go see the Odyssey in 2 weeks. We're going to see it at a really cool IMAX, like a big IMAX. My nephew said like a 70 IMAX or something. It's like it's one of the big ones, which I did not know. IMAX had different sizes, which I had no idea. I thought IMAX was IMAX. You know what I mean? Like it's one size or whatever. What's in Phoenix? Several family members. So yeah. But yeah, 70 millimeter, he said. Yeah. But as I said, I had no idea there were different IMAX sizes until a couple days ago. And I saw a post about it, about IMAX. There was like this, and the one we're going to is like this one. So you thought it was good? Oh, that's good. Music was loud. Yeah, I heard that. I'm not thrilled about it being loud. I heard it was loud. You know, and I guess they changed the ending. There's some ending where the female servants get killed for being disloyal, and Christopher Nolan thought it was misogynistic, so he didn't want to do it. It was like, okay, whatever. You changed Homer. Seriously? And I'm not happy about it being too loud. I find that annoying, to be honest. You know, that bothers me a bit because too loud is too loud. And also, I'm not like 18. Like any, you know, things started getting too loud for me decades ago. You know, so, oh man, and the voices weren't loud enough. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's interesting. So they made the music too loud and the voice is not loud enough. Wow, that sucks. Okay, that's too bad. Interstellar. I don't remember which one that was. I know I saw Interstellar. I don't remember which one it was, though. Can't remember the names. I did see the Ryan Gosling one. It was cute this weekend on Netflix or something. It's like Ryan Gosling goes to outer space to save the Earth when the sun's getting destroyed. It was cute. It was enjoyable. He's good. You know, I like him. He's good at that role, that kind of sweet role. He's very good. Hail Mary, exactly. It was good, you know? It wasn't the be all and end all of sci-fi movies, but it was good. Yeah. And he is quite good. It was very endearing. The ending was cute. I mean, it was enjoyable. Yeah. I'd give 2 thumbs up. Oh, sorry, Paula. Oh, Matthew McConaughey. Okay, but I can't remember Matthew McConaughey. Wasn't that weird? That was a weird one, wasn't it? I remember him being in some room with something happening in another dimension or something. I'm vaguely remembering, but I don't think I loved it, is what I'm thinking. I'm just vaguely remembering not loving that. Yeah, Interstellar. Yeah. But I can't remember now what it was. It wasn't that long ago. I think I saw it in the last year with his daughter, but there was, am I wrong that I'm not remembering loving it? Be all and end all science fiction? Depends. Movies, I don't know. TV shows, sure. Stargate SG-1. Amazing sci-fi. Insanely good sci-fi. Other ones were good though. The Expanse, excellent sci-fi. Trying to think other TV shows. Well, all the Star Treks, of course. You know, favorite actor, don't really have one. But yeah, SG-1, amazing, insanely good, you know. But otherwise, sci-fi movies, I don't know. I'd have to think. I don't know. You know? I just really have to think about it. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica was good. I felt it slipped though. Battlestar Galactica, I told you guys before, it went 2 seasons, the new one went 2 seasons very good, and then it slipped and you could tell, for my taste, it just it felt like it became a soap opera for me in the sense that, every week we could just change the plot entirely. Who cares? And soap operas would do that, where you could tell, yeah, they had a story arc, but they really didn't. You know what I mean? And I felt like Battlestar Galactica was that. He, especially like the last episode, was just bullshit. He just pulls it out of his ass. Lost in Space, excellent. Firefly, excellent. Ender's Game was good for a cult movie. Literally a cult movie. It was quite good. An older movie, The Odyssey, there's gotta be. Yeah, I've seen every Stargate episode like 10 times over, though. I don't want to watch it again. It's going to be years till I watch that again because I've watched it so many times. You know, Baal died a few years ago. He got something. He wasn't very old, sadly. Dark Matter, I don't recall. I'd have to look it up and see. Matt Damon is very good. Robin Williams is great. Yeah, of course. Dark Matter's from the 60s or what? I don't know. Sorry, guys. My allergies are getting to me too. It's like, well, it started hitting me a few minutes ago because I was getting clogged nose and now I'm getting runny eyes and I'm not sure if it's an end of the, I didn't eat anything. I mean, I ate, but earlier, whether it's an end of the day thing in the air or what. Based on a book. Oh, interesting. I didn't see that. The Pentagon won't finish sending $400 million in aid to Ukraine until 2029 when Trump's out of office. I didn't think we were giving Ukraine anything anyway. So, like, you know, what do you do? So. The old, I mean, I'm surprised there isn't. I mean, I'm sure there is an old Odyssey, but I don't know anything about it. So there. Actually, I've started catching up on Covert Affairs again. I love that series. I think it's fun. I watched it years ago and found it again. I paid for it on Amazon. Amazon gave me it was kind of cute. Amazon must have seen me looking because all of a sudden it said, okay, we'll give you the rest of the series for $50, you know, because it wanted $100. And I'm like, I'm not paying $100 for the series. And $50, I was like, you know what? For 5 seasons, okay, I'll do $50. So it gave me the deal and I did it. It's a fun series. It's goofy, but it's fun. I don't even think it's goofy. I think it's serious enough that it's an enjoyable series. I think. Starsky and Hutch, of course. Yep. New House of the Dragon, I am liking it more now. I tried watching it when it came out and it bored me. You know, it's still very negative. I don't like, and I think it's a mistake to have pretty much every character be somebody you loathe. I think is a mistake. I mean, there's nobody. She's a little bit loathsome. He's a little bit loathsome. Both of the kings a little bit loathsome. I mean, right? Let's go to current without spoiling. King's mother, a little bit loathsome. The guy who's helping the king, the guy with the bad leg, totally loathsome. I mean, there isn't anybody. The father of the queen, who's the hand of the king, loathsome. I mean, the original king father, not loathsome. And the original king's wife, they were the only two that were not loathsome, I think. Everybody else, right? There's literally nobody. The Lord of the Vale, she's loathsome. They're all, I don't like a TV show where literally every character is making me go, ugh. That's the problem with the series. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not liking that aspect of it. I just don't like any of the characters. That's not good. You know? Oh, look at what's his name too. What's his name? Who was with the King's Guard and now is the Hand, the hot guy. He became loathsome too. And he started like kind of his story arc, I don't even believe, you know? I just don't think you could have an entire show of characters where every single character is loathsome in some way, you know? Daron, which one's Daron? I don't remember which one that is though. No, some of the girls, right? I mean, I think the Sea King or whatever he's called, he's okay. His sons are okay, but they're minor characters, right? Sea King is getting a little more minor. Sea King's wife, more major, right? We liked her. She was pretty good. I can't remember. Is Helena the goofy sister bride of the king? I forget which one Helena is. She's funny. I mean, I will say she's not loathsome, but she also fits in the category of she's not really likable either, though. Daughter with visions. I can't remember who the hell's who now. I can't remember who's who. Whoever the blonde. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's not particularly likable either. They've made her goofy and aloof. You know what I mean? I would argue she's not a lovable character that everybody loves. No, she's not. You don't hate her because she's not evil. 2 points. You know? But, you know, Allison's another one where, you know, I don't like her. It's just across the board. I'm not like, you get my point. Other than Seinfeld, I haven't seen a show with this many characters you don't like. And Seinfeld was only the main characters. This is like so many main characters, and everybody you're kind of like, you know. Yeah, not being totally evil is is base level to be liked. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So like goofy blonde crazy sister wife is okay because she's not evil, and she's not evil, which is nice. But no, original Game of Thrones was much better. Clearly, I mean, way more story arcs going on, like more stories happening simultaneously, just way more oomphy of a show, gravitas. But House of the Dragon, also, I think it should have been called House of Dragon. House of the Dragon's okay, but does anybody call it House of the Dragon? It's House of. I always thought for the longest time it was House of Dragon. Drop the. I think it sounds better. Anyway, Night of the Seven Kingdoms took me a while, but I ended up liking it. Like the first episode kind of dragged on at first. I was like, oh my God, it's still raining. Please stop this. You know what I mean? And then it got, although the problem is, like all of these shows, it's been off the air for a while and I already can't remember who's who anymore. You know, even during the show, remembering who's who was starting to get a little bit like Game of Thrones. The first time I remember going, oh God, like there's like, who is he again? Like, I feel like my mother, who's he again? Right. And I'm going to have to watch the Night of the Seven Kingdoms again because I'm already forgetting, like, you know, it was good. I liked it. It like I said, the first couple of minutes were a little slow. I like him. There's a little boy character who's very good. There's the actor who plays the little boy is excellent. And he's an interesting, almost a sidekick. And he's quite good. The knight, he's kind of, he's cute and a little goofy, earnest. It was worth watching. I'll put it that way. It took me a bit to get into it, but it was worth watching. I think so. But yeah, it took me a while to get into House of the Dragon too. Egg, that's his name. Yeah, Egg. Well, don't tell people any of the details. Anyway, I know, yeah, Ukraine and the Caspian Sea, we were talking about that. Crazy. I've tried Farscape repeatedly. I give up. I can't. Every time I try Farscape, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so bored with this episode. You know what I mean? It just bored. I know so many people love that show. I can't get through the first couple episodes without getting bored to death. Now, the problem is early shows are hard because early shows the cast don't necessarily gel. So it's hard to judge. It's like the first year of Star Trek. First year wasn't that great, of a Next Generation, that is. But what do you do? Even regular Star Trek was stilted at the beginning. But yeah, I don't think I can handle Star Trek. I mean, Farscape. I tried repeatedly. I just got so bored trying to watch it. And like, I love Claudia, what's her face, and all of them. He's great. She's great. In fact, I love her. On Stargate SG-1, she's insane. What's her name? Claudia. What's her last name, guys? You Black. Oh my God. She is insanely good. Dear Lord. Son of a Critch? Don't know. Yeah, Deep Space Nine is excellent. Anyway, guys. All right, I think we're going to go 7:22. I'm tired. get my red shirt off, relax. All right, guys. Can't even Quark. You should call him Quark. That'd be cute. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to sign off. So thank you for joining as always. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for the gifts. And thank you, mods, as always. I will start with Substack. No, Discord. Sorry. Discord. Duh. All right. Good night, Discord. Not Substack. All right. And then, then I'll turn off Instagram. That's next. Probably goes off automatically, but I like to be sure. All right. And then YouTube and Substack. Bye, guys. Have a good night.